Hey everyone, it's Luke here from LT Gaming and welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at another 6 upcoming wargames for you to wishlist in 2024. This follows on strongly from 2 other videos I did this year where I included a bunch of games that are upcoming in the wargame genre. And thus, it's important to remember that this is a companion list, and if you want that full 360-degree view of all the great wargames coming this year, then you need to check out those other videos. Well, I say this year, but some of the titles I've included on these lists might not be seen till 2030. But regardless on when these games actually show up, the goal here is to expand your wish list so you have a real strong pipeline of games to be excited for in the future. As always with wargames, I've kept the definition kind of loose here, and with a nice variation of games on this particular list. So without any more messing around, let's jump in to some great upcoming wargames. Kicking off the list today is SGS Spain at War, which is a more accessible wargame. You can experience the complete Spanish Civil War from July 1936 to April 1939 in this comprehensive strategy game. You can engage with detailed units, weapons and events while fighting for your side and seize control of Spain in the most detailed game ever made on this conflict. The SGS series made a really strong return with Overlord, and after a number of entries into their Battle 4 series, I wanted a bigger conflict and they delivered. SGS Spain at War should also have that larger strategic vision. I do enjoy the smaller Battle 4 series, but for me, I like to zoom out a little bit and enjoy a wider conflict. So once again, with a very accessible UI, great gameplay and some wonderful music in the series, this is a title that as a wargamer, you should definitely wishlist and look to pick up in Q3 this year. And blasting onto the list next is Nuclear Sub. I've got a feeling that's Cockney rhyming slang for pub, but maybe I picked that up from some weird gangster movie back in the day. And I've never said a word like nuclear where people have decided to let me know in the comments how it should be properly said, and generally getting it wrong themselves. It's actually nuclear, but I'm not quite sure I want to say it that way, so I'm just going to stick with my regional accent and say nuclear. You know, whatever, it's all good. In this game, you will immerse yourself in a realistic nuclear submarine simulator where you command your crew and face off against formidable enemies. Arm your submarine with missiles, dive deep into the ocean, and fight to protect your country. It all just sounds a little bit too realistic to me in this modern age. But hey, let's put the scary modern world to one side and dive into the unique story of this submarine crew. You're able to explore the oceans of this open world looking out for enemy units while completing missions assigned by your superiors and assigning tasks to your subordinates. The reactor of your submarine needs constant attention and the technical condition must be checked. If a malfunction occurs, disaster could happen. The game also attempts to model 3 decks of your ship with realistically replicated separate compartments. With no precise release date, with it basically just saying 2024, this is just one to keep an eye on. Next up on the list is Imperial Ambitions, where you get to discover and colonize the world, allocate your labor force, monopolize markets, fight tactical battles, and survive the age of imperialism. Certainly an exciting premise for me. Now, I'm bending the definition of wargame slightly here. This is more of a 4X strategy game, but I thought it was interesting enough to include for you to wishlist. The game has a very interesting pixel art style, which is more of a cutesy type of presentation, and I know that's not for everyone, but with this style of game, it actually seems to work. I was never a fan of how Civilization 5 morphed into a more cartoony aesthetic with Civilization 6, but I'm willing to give this game the benefit of the doubt with a more minimalistic style. The developer has been very active in keeping us informed in how the game is going, and there's lots of great YouTube videos also on his work. The game feels like a real passion project, and there's loads of information on the Steam page that you have to go and check out. You will be able to grapple with awesome concepts like trade, production chains, social classes, warfare, and more. I'm sure this game will crop up on the channel many times again, and we hope to feature it in the future. Right, LT gamers, if you're enjoying this list or you're new here, make sure to like, comment your recommendations and what you think of the games on the list, and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to support LT Gaming, do hit the join button below, or you can always come and have some fun in our Discord. We appreciate all the interaction that we get. Exploding onto this list is Sherman Commander. In this title, you will lead a platoon of Sherman tanks through the most iconic theatres of World War II. Take command from the tank commander's seat to issue precise orders to your crew, or open the tactical map to coordinate manoeuvres with allied units. The game promises to bring a whole new perspective on realism in a tactical tank warfare simulation. You will not be zooming around the map in a super fast vehicle. In this game, the tank is represented as a slow, lumbering war machine that requires the effort of the entire crew to operate. You will engage in heavy fighting in the infantry support role and conduct sneaky maneuver-orientated duels with more heavily armoured and harder-hitting enemy vehicles. The game promises to have action across many different theatres with a dynamic AI that will attempt to outmaneuver you and put you on the defensive. I mean, it's promising a lot, so it's gonna have to deliver. Now, there have been 11 dev diaries published on Steam, so you can take a read through those to give you an idea of the game and how it's shaping up. That's always positive to see, because as wargamers we never know if a project's going to materialise or not. But overall, this does look a very exciting game, and if you're a tank enthusiast, then you're definitely going to want to check this out and pick it up when it gets released. Making its way onto the channel is Strategic Command World War II War in the Pacific. Now, this title was originally supposed to release a few weeks ago, but it was delayed due to the fact that they had some issues with approval steps on Steam, and I heard it had something to do with flags of certain countries that they had to change due to complaints and political reasons. Honestly, pretty ridiculous if that's what they had to do. But putting all that aside, the game will now release on July 18th, and it's a really welcome addition to the Strategic Command series. I absolutely loved the last title set in the American Civil War, and I featured it on the channel, and I had many hours of enjoyment out of that title and its expansion packs. I think expansion packs is probably not a cool title anymore. I should have said DLC, but it was really appreciated that some of them were provided for free, and there was a lot of content there. Of course, this is a hex-based, turn-based strategy game of a war game, so it really does lean towards the more hardcore element, but it's very accessible and easy to learn, and honestly plays very simply, but on a grand scale. It offers a comprehensive experience of the Pacific theatre, challenging you to achieve victory in one of history's greatest conflicts. If you're looking to dive into an epic campaign, then I can't recommend this game more. I've been playing it this week, and honestly, I'm impressed again, and I just love the Strategic Command series. You should check out all of their titles. Slytherin have another gem of a war game on their hands here, so definitely wishlist it and pick it up on July 18th. And finally, at the top of this list is actually a DLC, and that's Regiments Winds of Change. The base game is super popular on this channel and a title that I enjoy very much to this day. It's a great foil to Warno and plays out a little slower and a bit more strategic, so if you're not a fan of really fast-paced real-time strategy, then you can take your time with Regiments. The DLC has me very excited to jump into Regiments again, and I've reached out to Microprose to get access as soon as I can to this new content. I will definitely be taking a look at it on the channel. The original Regiments video was actually one of our biggest hits and showed us that we could make a success of LT Gaming, so we'll always remember that. Excitingly, the Winds of Change DLC brings a vast array of new content and systems to the game. There are all new procedurally generated operations where you can lead a selected regiment through dozens of battles. These include brand new French, Dutch, Canadian or Czechoslovakian regiments as they enter the fray. The DLC also includes the ability to strike from the sky with new possibilities heralded by the addition of heli-borne troops and fighter jets. And to top it all off, you'll be able to command more than 50 new vehicles and weapon systems. I mean, it's going to be absolutely brilliant and a reason to jump back into Regiments all over again. If you haven't picked up the base game, you should definitely consider it, as it's rated very positive on Steam with an overall 87% rating. So there we go, LT Gamers, an absolutely killer list of upcoming war games that you have to check out. And just remember, we have other videos in the upcoming series that you should definitely go and watch, as it will complete your total wish list. I really enjoy looking into the future to see what games are coming down the pipeline, but equally it's fun to look back with our Forgotten series. If you're looking for loads of gems from the past, then those are the videos to watch. As always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe and all that YouTube stuff. I've been Luke from LT Gaming and I'll catch you on the next one.